Okay boys, welcome back. It's going to be a trade breakdown for NQ longs yesterday. This is Wednesday 19th of August. Okay, so coming into the day I was bullish, but obviously a manipulation for low of day during the AM session means I was trading away from low of day, right? And it's kind of like an intraday retracement of the daily candle. Of course, if I'm bullish I want the daily to close bullish or at least be an indecision candle, and I'm trading back towards the daily open away from low of day, right? So how do I establish a bias? Well, if we see the weekly is open low on both assets, right, I think we still could trade higher this week after confirming low of the week. But when ES is a little bit weaker and closing below this swing inside here, which is a key level, when we trade into the key level, then I want to see, of course, a reversal of previous day low. And then from there, we could see a new phase of price and sort of see a reversal from that happening, right? We do have a strength switch inside here, so of course NQ gives the larger opposing run and trades deeper into a discount relative to the previous day's range compared to ES, which gives a shallow run and then expansion beyond, but that still qualifies a reversal from low of day, and all I have to do is simply find the level for low of day and trade away from there, right? So how did I find the level on this day? Well, we have three aligned possibilities or three aligned key levels that I'm actually working with on this day, right? So we see this daily wick here. Like I say, if we're going to reverse our previous day low, we need something relevant to the left of us. And this daily wick right here was my relevant key level on the daily time frame. If we move to the 4 hour, we can see something relevant as well. We can refine that daily wick to this 4 hour wick inside here, both of which we have the CE, which is the 50% level of both of those wicks. And then thirdly, we have this hourly OB, which is also perfectly aligned, right, with the CE of this as well. So daily wick, 50% level of that, 4 hour wick, the 50% level of that, and the hourly OB, the 50% level of that, all aligned perfectly to trade as a level away from low of day, right? To put this into context as well, when I say earlier about indecision candle on the daily, we can see that a bit clearer here. When we open low first, but we don't really displace away, not confirming anything away from this reversal, that means that we can still trade a reversal from this level, right? So this is unprotected, which means I know we need to see something below this, right, and trade in this level first before we can actually see expansion away or an intraday retracement profile on the daily candle for the daily to open low like this, right? However, this day was a little bit different. We have a delayed protraction profile in this case, or sort of anyway, even though we don't displace beyond the daily open. What do I mean by that? Well, we open low first, we chop around like this, but we actually expand higher before confirming the low of the day. That would be a delayed protraction profile, right? So we have manipulation, an opposing run, manipulation. This is the actual true opposing run of the daily candle, low of day inside here, away from the level, and then we trade that retracement profile on the hourly or the daily candle back towards the daily open, right? And it's this move right here which I'm trading on this specific day. So now I've figured out the daily profile, I want to think about intraday profiles, specifically on the 4 hour, right? So I'm tying this in with the 10 a.m. key open. When I see 6 a.m. of the 4 hour closing like this, so we have a bearish expansion, but we yet to trade into the aligned key levels of the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour. That is the CE of all these levels, right? When we yet to trade into that, then this becomes my anchor for reversal. With that, then I need to see 10 o'clock open up and open low first, right? So to still qualify a new out reversal, I need to see a valid 10 a.m. protraction phase. That means when 10 a.m. opens up, we need to open low first into the key level, have a valid AMD or PO3 inside here. So we open low, this is a manipulation, and then we trade higher with the distribution like that. So I'm looking to position myself inside the manipulation phase, specifically after 10 o'clock open. Here is a clear view of that 10 a.m. PO3. See here the opening price right at 10 a.m. We open low first into the key level, at which I am anticipating low of day, and then we see an expansion away from there. So this is going to be accumulation inside here, manipulation, and then distribution or within that new 4-hour candle. Next up then, I'm using another confluence to actually project my low of day level, right? So like I say, this line here is what we've already discussed, the daily wick CE, the 4-hour wick CE, and the 1-hour OB, and also the CE of that level, right? So 3 times we have aligned consequent encroachment of 50% level of higher time frame PD rays, and then from there I can actually use the news driver at 9:30 to actually project the low of day as a level itself, right? So we see 9:30 up in here, we have a bit of manipulation up, and then we displace lower, right? So this is actually the daily manipulation which we spoke about, which fed into that daily protraction, right, or the delayed protraction of the daily candle. So when we see around the driver we have a new range to trade from, we can actually mark out this range here and use a bit of discretion to see if it's a large range or a small range, and that affects how we anchor our standard deviation levels, right? If we have a small range, then we include the wicks of the candles. If we have a large range, then I'm using only the bodies to anchor my standard deviation, right? So from my experience, I'm going to use this or read this as a large range, which means I'm only going to take the bodies of this range to project my standard deviation. So we take it right here from body to body, high to low when bullish, and I'm going to anchor it right there to target these max expansions down here, right? We see how the 3 align key levels from before, the higher time PD rays, align perfectly with minus 4.5 max expansion. This right here gives me another confluence that this manipulation will end at this level specifically, and that is why I'm able to use a limit order on this specific day with a large enough stop loss to cover any deviation down here, and then trade away from there as the actual expansion of the New York session, right? So now I have all my confluences aligned, which are recapped and listed here. We can see clearly how 10 a.m. is going to open low, reverse of the previous 4-hour low into the low of day. I have my limit here with my stop at 20 points. And the only thing that's left to do is set something as a target, right? So initially, you could have taken 10 a.m., reclaimed, or any of these swings above, but I wanted something a bit more ambitious. I think we could have gone higher, which we did, and we still even traded higher beyond this. I took my level at this 3-minute high right here, and also this aligned 5-minute order block right there. So I do think we were going to push higher on the day, which we eventually did, but the point being, I think this is where we could have seen a new phase of price, right? So I'm going to see deviation to this low, expansion into this 5-minute OB right here, and then from there we could either see chop, manipulation again, or kind of like retracement, reaccumulation before continuation, or we could have seen continuation, manipulation, distribution back down. Either way, I don't care about the new phase of price from here. All I care about is taking my trade to this, and I know because it's a relevant level, I can place my take profit right there and get out before that new lower time frame phase of price, right? So there we have deviation, 10 a.m. open low, we see expansion away from there, and look how the hourly closes right here. Super clean protraction of this 10 a.m. candle, and even though we have a large wick, we still support expansion considering when the low of this candle was put in relevant to the hour or the minute within the hour, right? So that's basically low of day right there from that exact level, which I pointed out all throughout this video, and all in all was about 205 points expansion, I believe. Let's have a look. You can see the range from here, perhaps. We're not allowed to do that now. There we go. So 205 points of expansion and around 10, 11 hour in total, give or take. So super easy, 10 a.m. PO3, or using 10 a.m. with narrative along with 3 higher time frame aligned PD arrays and standard deviation from the news driver range to actually project that low of day. And again, align key levels to limit away from, right? So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and Discord link in bio.